My mother handed me $20 and a one-way ticket to adulthood, then she walked out the door to catch a flight to Paris. My name is Maya. I was 11 years old when my childhood ended in the span of a single afternoon. My mother stood in the foyer, her designer luggage gleaming, and pressed a crumpled bill into my palm. "You're so mature for your age, Maya," she said, her voice light and airy as if she were discussing the weather. "It's only a month. Use the emergency card if you need to. You're independent now." Then, with a quick wave and the click of a lock, I was alone in a house that suddenly felt 10 times its actual size. The emergency card was a joke, an unactivated piece of plastic with no pin. My mother hadn't left me a lifeline, she had left me a souvenir of her neglect. For the first few days I tried to treat it like a survival game. I rationed the half-empty box of crackers and the 2 cans of soup I found in the back of the pantry. I told myself I was a warrior. But by day 6 the warrior was starving. My stomach felt like it was folding in on itself, and the dizzy spells made the hallway spin every time I stood up. I stopped watching TV because the commercials for food felt like a physical attack. Instead, I started a log of evidence in an old-school notebook. I wrote down the dates, the lack of phone calls, and exactly what it felt like to be forgotten. I recorded short videos on my tablet, documenting the empty fridge and the silence. I wasn't just surviving anymore, I was building a case. On the morning of the 10th day, the doorbell rang. It wasn't my mother coming home early. It was Mr. Henderson, my 6th-grade teacher. He had noticed I hadn't logged into my remote assignments and that my mother wasn't answering her emails. When I opened the door, I didn't try to hide it. I stood there, pale and thin, holding my notebook of evidence. "She's in Europe," I told him, my voice cracking for the first time. "She told me I was independent." The look on Mr. Henderson's face changed from confusion to a cold, sharp fury, not at me but for me. He walked into the kitchen, saw the single $20 bill still sitting on the counter, and immediately pulled out his phone. "This isn't independence, Maya," he said firmly. "This is a crime." Within 2 hours, the house was full of people who actually cared. A social worker named Sarah walked through every room, taking photos of the bare cupboards and the unactivated credit card. I showed her my notebook. I showed her the videos. I wanted them to see everything. I wanted the truth to be so loud that my mother could hear it all the way across the Atlantic. "We're going to call her," Sarah said, her face grim, "and then we're going to find you a safe place to stay." I moved in with a foster family down the street, people who gave me 3 meals a day and didn't expect me to be an adult at 11. While I was there, the authorities finally reached my mother. She tried to laugh it off at first, telling them I was exaggerating and that I was fine. But then they sent her the file, the photos of the empty house, my recorded testimonies, and the detailed log of my hunger. The month passed, and the day of her return arrived. But she didn't come home to a quiet house and a mature daughter waiting to hug her. She walked into a house that had been flagged by the state, with a legal summons waiting on the dining room table where my $20 used to sit. When she saw me at the preliminary hearing, she finally stopped smiling. She looked at me and whispered, "Maya, why would you do this to us? Why would you tell them?" I looked her straight in the eyes, holding my notebook. "I didn't do this to us," I said. "I just stopped lying for you. You wanted me to be independent, Mom. Well, this is what an independent person does. They protect themselves when no one else will." She lost custody that day. My life didn't go back to the way it was, and I'm glad. I learned that being mature isn't about suffering in silence. It's about having the courage to speak the truth when it matters most. My mother went to Europe to find herself, but she came back to find that she had lost the only thing that truly mattered. And me, I'm finally 11 years old again.